Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. The nation's youths are urged to follow their heart and find their passion at a recently held Business Leaders Jumpstart program. The National Self-Help Commission succeeds at clearing its backlog of applications since 2010 and looks forward to working on new applications. And a call for employers and entrepreneurs to register their businesses as workforce assessment centers at a recently held apprenticeship program stakeholder forum. Follow your heart and live your passion. These are the words of advice being offered to graduates of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce's on the job training program, Jumpstart.
Many young men and women, due to circumstances, often aren't able to enter the world of work when they should. But today, thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the Ministry of Labour, Small Micro-Enterprise Development, and the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development, nearly 100 young persons are being given that opportunity, which they otherwise may not have been afforded. The Chamber of Commerce is nurturing future business leaders in Trinidad and Tobago with its Jumpstart program. It's on-the-job training, but with a difference, as it draws participants from schools and institutions whose populations are often overlooked when business or corporate job opportunities arise. Speaking at the graduation ceremony for the participants, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Ms. Catherine Kumar, says the success of the program has encouraged the Chamber to continue its role in youth development.
We believe that encouraging entrepreneurship, a great work ethic, essential life skills, and promoting a sense of self-worth and achievement among young people is a sure way to empower them and to secure the future growth of our nation.
Ministry of Labour Representative Michael Gordon says the government has also supported the Jumpstart program as it goes hand in hand with the government's diversification thrust.
Our ministry sees youth entrepreneurship as a very important part of our national diversification plans. We have developed and will continue to develop programs to help you become successful businessmen and women. So you can contact us to find out more about what we do. We have a program called the National Integrated Business Incubator System called IBIS, which will help new and existing businesses. We also have the Fair Share program that provides opportunities for small businesses to get access to government contracts up to $1 million. We also have the National Entrepreneurship Development Company Limited, NETCO, that provides financing and business advisory services and training. And there are other initiatives that we continue to develop.
One participant praises the program for its holistic development of the individual, saying she learned a lot from it.
At the beginning, we had training sessions, and they taught us about proper financing. Like, even though you get paid, you have to still budget yourself and not go in and just spend all the money you go in and want to save some. In order to buy something later or to do something much more important. We learn better eating habits, and there's different things to to help us in our health life. So this was a very good stepping stone, because now you can put this on your resume. And not only that, something that you can put on your resume, you also get to learn a few life lessons, because you got the office experience, you get to meet different types of people.
Feature speaker Errol Fabian, in a witty motivational delivery, is encouraging children to not just find a job, but find their passion.
On mornings, I do what I've always wanted to do. When I wake up, I go to do the thing that has been in my heart since I was in short pants. It's always been there. And I can't begin to try and find words to describe how beautiful it is, and how rewarding, and how fulfilling, and how far-reaching, and how amazing, and how wondrous, and how blessed the whole experience is. So I wouldn't try to find the words to say it, to describe it, just to say that I know you have something in your heart. And today I say to you, subjects are great, degrees are great, desire and passion has trumped it all.
Oh, there's much to fear.
Participants were left with this heartwarming rendition of Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston's When You Believe from one of their peers, as a reminder that despite it all, anything is possible.
There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracle you can achieve when you believe somehow you will. You will when you believe.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
The International Labour Organization is hosting a side event to the United Nations Small Island Developing States Conference in Apia, Samoa from the 1st to the 4th of September 2014 to discuss the future of economic integration in the Caribbean is likely to impact on the labour market and how improved partnerships between government, private sector and the labour movement can contribute to better labour market outcomes for the region. Now, the Honourable Winston Dukran, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, called for financial organizations such as the International Monetary Fund to review the way economic shocks and major issues facing the Caribbean are dealt with. He stated that these shocks are not temporary phenomenon and the remedy should not be of a temporary nature. Minister Dukran also raised these issues of mismatch between public deficits and private surpluses, particularly in the financial sector. To address these issues, he called for banking and financial organizations to develop a more development-oriented approach and to facilitate greater involvement of civil society and the private sector. Now, Minister Dukran highlighted the importance of the ILO in moving beyond technical and analytical work to political support. He proposed that the ILO creates a module on labor diplomacy with the recently launched Diplomatic Academy of the Caribbean at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, Trinidad and Tobago, to enable greater engagement of social partners in the political processes. A review of the Food Production Ministry's budget achievements when we return from the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. In this segment of our Budget Watch, we take a look back at the Ministry of Food Production.
When the last fiscal package was presented in Parliament, the Ministry of Agriculture, now the Ministry of Food Production, was allocated $1,338.3 million. Compared to the other budgetary allocations, this was the smallest chunk of the pie. The entire budget, though, was a deficit of over $7 billion. Total revenue was $50.736 billion, with total expenditure being $58.405 billion. As he presented the fiscal package last year, Finance Minister Larry Hawaii said for the area of agriculture, government proposed to reduce the food import bill by 50% or just over $2 billion per year by 2015. He stated that having a food-secure nation would be realized through partnerships with other governments and the private sector.
We are moving ahead with a food security facility with the government of Guyana. We have executed a memorandum of understanding with the Guyanese government, which will provide in Berbice initially 10,000 acres of land for immediate agricultural production and subsequently a further 90,000 acres. The government of Trinidad and Tobago will invite private sector investment in agricultural production in Guyana and will work with the government of Guyana to provide a facilitating environment and the necessary support to attract such investments.
In terms of achievements thus far for distribution of agricultural lands to farmers, an agricultural state land block initiative has been launched. This initiative was carried out under the Ministry of Land and Marine Resources. The third phase of this farm outreach commenced only recently. Apart from this, much headway has been made in upgrading the country's fish farms, as well as the exploration of more modern technologies for production of specific types of crops. Senator the Honorable Devant Maraj, Minister of Food Production, recently led a mission of ministry officials and executives from the National Agriculture and Market and Development Corporation, NAMDEVCO, to Cali, Colombia, to observe modern technologies for cassava production, processing, and utilization. But before venturing overseas, the Ministry of Food Production held a national consultation on cassava production with farmers. This took place at the Carney Extension Office in Chase Village. In terms of enhancement and growth of the local fishing industry, The Ministry of Food Production opened a new fish landing site at Larafin, Moruga. Speaking at the official opening ceremony, Member of Parliament for the area, the Honourable Clifton Dikoto, said the Ministry of Food Production should be commended for this initiative. He said this was just the start of many great things to come. Delivering the feature address, Minister of Food Production David Maraj said approximately 60 vessels with 180 fishermen will be operating from the Larafin site. These fishermen, he noted, would contribute immensely to the objective of ensuring TNT becomes a food-secure nation.
The Ministry of Food Production, as indicated by Minister Dikoto, has the political will and support to ensure that the agricultural sector in its entirety develop comprehensively, which will include the fisheries sector. And Minister Dikoto can tell you that he and I have been having a number of discussions regarding this facility being launched. We had to overcome some challenge and secure the support of other agencies.
Still with fishing, the Ministry of Food Production also moved into East Port of Spain to launch an agriculture initiative which would encourage self-employment. The initiative was the launch of the new aquaponics training program. Aquaponics is a food production system that combines the rearing of fish with the cultivation of plants in water. In some other steps taken by the government, Cabinet had approved a note regarding the implementation of a national ban on shark finning, making Trinidad and Tobago the lead in the Caribbean in banning the practice of removing shark fins for commercial purposes. In March this year, Trinidad and Tobago hosted the 15th session of the Western Central Atlantic Fisheries Commission. The Ministry of Food Production also got involved in creating an enabling environment in which harvesting pressure on wildlife would be reduced. This was done through the Neotropical Animal Production, Demonstration and Conservation Program. A program has been introduced in this regard. The ministry also partnered with the Trinidad and Tobago Postal Service for a special initiative, the launch of the first ever seed stamp in the Caribbean. The stamp featured the sorrel plant widely used in this country, especially during the Christmas season. Other achievements include government's Memorandum of Understanding with the Trinidad and Tobago Fine Cocoa Company Limited, TTF-CCL. Through this joint venture agreement, the TTF-CCL will purchase raw dried cocoa beans from farmers in Tamina Cocoa Cluster, which will be processed into cocoa liqueur. The processed cocoa liqueur will then be shipped to Artisan du Chocolat, an English chocolate manufacturing and retailing company, to produce a branded Trinidad Heritage line of gourmet dark chocolate bars. Despite all the work, the ministry also put aside special time to appreciate members of the media for their coverage of the agricultural sector. Felicia Wilson, Mon News 4.
Thank you, Felicia. Residents of Upper Laventille have expressed gratitude towards the National Self-Help Commission after receiving grants from the Commission's chairman, Suraj Deo Mangru, to do much-needed repairs and upgrades to their homes.
Homes will be repaired, retaining walls will go up, and the outside elements such as the rain and strong winds or even threats of land slippage will no longer be an alarming factor for some residents of Upper Laventille. This after residents in that area received much-needed grants to facilitate upgrades to their homes. The grants in the form of a purchase order to be taken to an already sourced hardware were given out to residents by Commission Chairman Suraj Deo Mangru on Tuesday upstairs the Laventille Health Centre in the presence of MP for Laventille West, Nylong Hippolyte. Although there are varying figures, the grants go up to $15,000. Residents who spoke with TV4 following the distribution exercise expressed their gratitude to the Commission and to their MP.
Well, I'm very thankful for the assistance given to me today because the house was so severely damaged. I was wondering how I would have done all of that on my own. But thanks to my MP for his quick assistance and thanks to the Self-Help Commission for coming forward and helping me. So at least I could put a roof back over my head because now we are covered with tarpaulin.
I am Adeline Kwashi. I applied some years ago, but what happened is I wanted to have the place wheelchair ready because I have a son that is born with cerebral palsy. The flooring and the house structure itself is very weak and I wanted to do the repairs on it. I've been waiting a very long time, so I brought the attention to our MP, which we had a remarkable result which showed up today. And I am really grateful for being patient, so I got a result today, good results. Thanks. I applied about 8 years now. I've been waiting ever since, and I thank God that I get through now. I'm going to start to do from foundation, and I have to look to finish, from foundation to finish.
My name is Shema Kwao, and I am very grateful because when I see weather like this, I used to be panicking because I need to get a retaining wall for my house, and it used to moving, coming down. Right? So now that I got this, I feel comfortable. I'm very glad.
Meantime, in an interview with TV4, the National Self-Help Commission chairman, Mr. Mangru, noted that the commission has cleared its backlog since coming into office in 2010 and is now working with new applications.
Today we are pleased to be here to give you 26 of your constituents will be receiving grants, including the one you requested. There was a special request by you for a particular individual. She will be receiving a grant today as well. Our government is expending today a sum of $395,000 to you, the people of Laventille West. And we are not only dealing with Laventille West. As he said, your MP said, we deal with 41 constituencies throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And despite our limited resources, we are able to reach out to almost every single request coming to us. The thing about it, whilst you come knocking, others do the same thing as well. So with our limited resources, we are trying our best to distribute as much as possible. When I took office, I said to my board, we must be fair and we must be equitable in the distribution process of our government subvention. And that is what we are doing.
The Commission's next distribution exercise will be done in central Trinidad. Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
Sport news when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back to some sport news now. Sport for All is a major component in the strategic plan of the Ministry of Sport. In order to achieve this goal, added facilities will be needed throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Well, with an Olympic gold medalist, a Pro League football team, and a multitude of other athletes destined for various levels of successes, northeastern Trinidad and Tobago is an area where sporting facilities will surely be fully utilized. Here's Win Cunningham with more.
It is a blessing in disguise that we see today that this project has taken off the ground, because we have been waiting for this for nearly umpteen years. And it's good that we have a new Minister of Sports who have started this project, and we hope that it comes to fruition. And what I should say, we have waited years and years, and this project now, we have seen the light after the tunnel. So we want to congratulate also the government, People's Partnership Government, for taking this initiative to bring this indoor facilities to Sangre Grande.
It's a very rich sporting community. You know, we have plenty national players like from the football fraternity, the netball. Well, you know, Penny Casanada is from around this area, right across the road to be exact. You know, so getting a facility like this, it only could enhance the young people where their sporting lives is concerned, that they now could actually see a brighter future if they decide to take a career within sports. So something like this, because we know nowadays in the world everything is scientific, and this is a place now that they could come now and train in the proper way to enhance whatever sporting group they come from. So this is welcomed by the community.
Dr. the Honorable Rupert Griffith, Minister of Sport, hit the ground running with his new portfolio, and he was on hand to check on the progress of new and upgraded sporting facilities in Sangre Grande. He told us what the people of the area could expect on the April 2015 completion.
What we are building here is an indoor recreational facility, sport facility. And this is for a series of indoor type sport. There's also one outdoor, which is the hockey, I think, hockey. And we are here on spot, and the time frame is around April, May next year. And we are very grateful to have that in Togo Sangre Grande, because, you know, we produce some of the top athletes in Trinidad and Tobago. Kishon Walcott is from this constituency, and we have many track and field people that are blazing the trail right now, and also in the martial arts. So this indoor facility will also include martial arts type activities, most indoor activities.
The Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago is mandated to provide project management oversight for the design and construction of sports facilities throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Acting CEO Adrian Raymond is pleased with the investment in Sangre Grande.
I think what I was very impressed with is that even before we came here, Minister Griffith seemed to have had a master plan for the community. So you're talking about the need for the Pro League team, Northeast Stars, and having the field and a pavilion so that the community can be engaged, etc., right here in their community. You heard him speak about cricket and the master plan where cricket is concerned. There's a swimming pool. The multipurpose facility as well will allow for a multitude of sports and continue the proud tradition in Toco Sangre Grande. Our second gold medalist is from the Toco Sangre Grande constituency, and there are several other young athletes who, even at their age right now, have passed Keyshawn in terms of where he was at in terms of his development cycle, etc. So that we know that we expect a lot from Toco Sangre Grande, and obviously the government is seeing that and continuing to invest.
Minister Griffith is also the Member of Parliament for the area and knows firsthand the impact these facilities will have on the community.
We have a growing age group of young people here. Sport is big in Toco Sangre Grande, and we are happy that this facility will be here to facilitate that growing need in this area.
So there's a great demand for this facility here, and I have no doubt that they will be fully utilized.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after this. Welcome back. The call has been made for employers and entrepreneurs across Trinidad and Tobago to register their businesses and workforce assessment centers. The call comes from Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, during the recently held WAC and Apprenticeship Program Stakeholder Forum.
Employers and entrepreneurs across Trinidad and Tobago are being encouraged to register as Workforce Assessment Centers, WAC. The call comes from Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. Speaking at the recently held Workforce Assessment Center and Apprenticeship Program Stakeholder Forum, Senator Karim stated that by registering as Workforce Assessment Centers, entrepreneurs hosting such centers could also use this opportunity to assess their own employees as they would candidates sent to their centers. The minister believes signing up as an assessment center would derive more returns for businesses.
I want to tell you as well that once you understand the concept, you should all sign on to be workforce assessment centers. There's no setup fee for that, and you can be center approved. And you know what you'll be doing? You'll be improving the quality of your workforce. You'll be improving the reliability of your workforce. You'll be ensuring that if you had to market your products and services abroad, that the people who you have are internationally accepted. You'll be ensuring the future sustainability of your organization, because if you had to bid for projects and you present all of this portfolio, the persons to whom you're submitting your bids will say, yes, we can take you, as opposed to a company that doesn't have what you have.
Minister Karim also stated that once registered as an assessment center, assessors could access the National Training Agency's NTA growing database of occupational standards and criteria for awarding skill levels to facilitate the award of the Caribbean Vocational Qualification CVQ certification for any candidate seeking such. He reiterated the importance of the program, noting that it is significant to TNT's development and will not be stopped.
But the whole concept of the Workforce Assessment Center was one that I found was going to be very useful, particularly platformed on the principle of prior learning assessment and recognition, PLAR. In some parts of the world, it is called simply PLA, prior learning assessment. In other parts of the world, it's simply called APL, Accreditation of Prior Learning. But what it really means is that you are going to be recognized for the learning that you inculcated within you and your competences, which can now be assessed and certified.
The Workforce Assessment Center was launched in 2011 as a strategic mechanism to afford skilled nationals to receive regionally recognized certification for vocational skills and talents that they would have developed without the aid of formal education. To date, more than 5,000 nationals have been assessed and awarded in areas such as carpentry, masonry, plumbing, hairdressing, and garment construction, to name a few. Felicia Wilson-Maughan, News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. Remember, you can view a repeat of our newscast weekdays at 6 a.m. and feel free to visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/OurTV4, and you can visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the GISL TD. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.